Alright guys, I lied a little bit. I've got one more for you. So, I passed this guard, this guy's turned into me, and he got the underhook, right? So that darce is not a path. I don't necessarily have a very clean path to the anaconda choke. I might still be able to get it. I might still be able to roll through that, but it's going to be a little bit more challenging here. Now, since he's got the underhook, if he comes up here and he's somehow got up to my head, he's got a whole bunch of other problems coming into him, right? I'm gonna go for an arm bar. There's a straight arm lock here where I can, pinch and hold his hand to my head, pinch his shoulder, and then crush down there. I can pull his elbow into his chest, spin around, and hit an arm bar there. So there are things that if he gets above your arm, but most people aren't going to. They're going to come under here, and the reason they're going to come out under here is because they want to start to shrimp out, and now he's got kind of a path to my back, and I don't want that. So he's got this little underhook here, and I'm just going to cup his shoulder a little bit. I'm going to bring my leg, and I'm going to come under it. Now, once it's here, I want to keep my leg pretty much rooted into the ground here. And I'm going to fall onto my side, and then I'm going to take my bottom leg and I'm going to come over my top leg here. And my top leg is going to be turning his face hopefully towards me, right? And I want to keep that there because I don't want him sitting up, and I don't want him to really turn into me and be able to pull this elbow back. So I'm going to take this hand, I'm going to make a fist, I'm going to put it down at his wrist here. All right? And then I'm going to cup his shoulder. I'm going to bring my elbow up, crotch forward, up, crotch forward, until I've got this really, really strong bend here. I've got this hip penetration here. From here, I'm going to keep my leg strong here. I'm going to pop this leg out, and I'm going to keep a bend in my leg here, right? And I'm going to start to walk this out, but I want to make sure that I keep this bend here, and I want to get pretty close to his elbow with this. And now I just Suzanne Summers my legs together, right? It's like I'm going to do that internal rotation here. And so this leg is basically pinning his shoulder down to the ground, and this leg is trying to basically create a Kimura here, right? So I'm kind of twisting his arm up, and then I'm isolating out that shoulder so his shoulder's going to break. So internally rotate. But what's really important here, and what a lot of people get wrong with this one, is that they keep this leg straight. And so you see, no matter how far I go, I don't have any lifting power here. So I need to kind of have that leg pretty well bent so that I have that ability to lift that elbow up while I'm keeping this one down. So he turns into me, he gets that underhook because he wants my back. I'm going to step over, and I'm going to, from here, I make the contact with the ground, and I really want to keep this foot low, and I kind of want it to go under his head, right? And then I'm going to bring it on top of this leg. So think about this. If he's going to use his other arm to kind of push this off so that he can kind of open up this space, it's going to be really easy to do if this leg is the one that's on top. So it's really important that I have this bottom leg on top because I'm creating a wall here. He doesn't have much ability to move this out. I create this, boom. So I bend, fist to wrist. I cup his shoulder, drive my hips forward, bring my elbow forward, drive forward, trying to keep this down the whole time. And this is kind of the thing that I find really, really difficult about this technique, is keeping this pressure down as I shift and move, right? So be really, really careful with that. So I keep this pressure here as I unlock, and then I straighten my leg, or bring my leg out to his elbow, and then I bring my knees together, right? Making sure I maintain that 90-degree bend. Now, I get here, he takes my leg, and he pushes it over his head so he can start to sit up and start to unwind this, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my other leg and I'm going to straighten it out. He won't be able to sit up now with my boot on, right? And my leg straight here. This, okay? This is just a stopping point, because he is still able to kind of turn in. He's not able to sit straight up, but he is able to turn in. So if he starts to turn in, which I expect him to do, I'm going to take my foot and I'm going to cup under his head, scooping his head up and posting my toe into the ground. This is very, very important. If I just have it under the head, I don't really have any pressure on the shoulder that's going to prevent him from sitting up. But by turning my toe down, now I've got the internal rotation of my hip, which is going to keep that shoulder down. And so from here, I finish the same way as I did before. He turns in, he gets the unhook. I bring my leg over. A lot of times I'm actually going to post here, and then I'm going to slide it back, keeping that arm pinned here. If it's straight out here, that's fine. I just want to make sure that I've got his arm here. So in this meantime, I'm going to come here. All right, grab your shoulder, hips forward, elbows forward, boom. So we're right there. I'm going to bring my leg out, keeping this 90-degree bend in my leg. I want to keep my pressure onto his face. And then I internally rotate to finish. He passes my leg over. I'm going to straighten out and put my boot on so that this leg is heavy and he's going to have trouble sitting up. He's going to start to turn in. When he does so, I'm going to bring my leg back and hook underneath his head, and I'm going to put my toe into the mat so my heel is up. Right? So I got that 90-degree bend, my heel's up, and I've got that pressure here, and I finish exactly the same way. All right? It might be possible. I might end up in this kind of reverse tombstone position, and you could do a head scissor here, and it would probably be pretty effective. So yeah, that's still an option there. I think it would be less effective because of the way that I'm facing. I'm facing towards his head as opposed to towards his hip, which would be kind of more your traditional tombstone, as I'd be facing towards his hip. So, I might not have as much that I can do to really make sure that he doesn't get out of that straight head scissor. But again, for this one, I'm going to want this bottom leg on top of this one so that he can't just unhook me and push me off here, and then I can straighten out and choke him out. I want to, if I can, I want his head facing towards me again because of the taper of my legs. If his head faces the other way, I've still got my calves there, and he's actually pretty close to my calves right now, so I've got pretty good power there. If he looks straight up, well, he's going to get a trachea crush. So just like with the box choke, which is the one I forgot to do today, I'm going to do it right now. I distracted myself. Look at that. ADHD. Woo! So if he decides that he wants to look straight up, he's going to get a trachea crush. He's usually going to decide which way his head turns, and I'm still going to be able to pretty much choke him out with this. So